Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos and on this video tonight I am going to be giving you my match reaction for the Man United Man City game that's just ended. Man United 1, Manchester City 3 at Old Trafford in the Carabao Cup semi-final first leg. So you can all but say the tie is over and that, because obviously we've got to overcome a 2-goal deficit at the Etihad. We do play Manchester City in the second leg on the 28th of January, so this is obviously towards the back end of this month and that. But like I did say recently, I think I said this prior to the game, that I did say the Carabao Cup is a priority for Manchester United, because I did say it's my only chances of winning any silverware this season. But obviously now I'm very sceptical that is going to happen. So I think now our ambitions is to get that top 4, and of course hopefully progress in the Europa League and that. Obviously Solskjaer tonight had made 5 changes from the 0-0 draw with Wolves in the FA Cup. Obviously he stuck with the 4-2-3-1 formation. He went with David De Gea in net. He went with Wan-Bissaka at right back. He went with Jones and Lindelof as a centre-back partnership. Obviously, Jones came in for Harry Maguire, because obviously Harry Maguire is out with a foot injury. At left-back, went with Brandon Williams. I thought actually, Brandon Williams, had an impressive game. In the midfield, went with Pereira and Fred. The 3 attackers went with Daniel James on the left, Jesse Lingard in number 10, he's just come back from illness, Rashford on the right, and of course Mason Greenwood up top. This of course was Mason Greenwood's first appearance in a Manchester derby in that. So now I'm going to give my overarching view on the game. I thought it was an absolute dreadful performance by Manchester United, especially in the first half. Solskjaer to give his overarching view on it, and he said it's actually the worst Man United have played of course this season, definitely in that. He said it's the worst we have played this season. I thought the performance was totally comparison to the game what we saw at the Etihad early on in the season, because actually we did beat Man City early on in the season in the league by 2 goals to 1. City of course were 3-0 up at half time. But like I said, City played with a lot of intensity. They dominated the possession. They created a lot of chances, and it actually could have been another 6-1. So I'm just relieved that it's not a total humiliation, as I thought it could have been in that. The first goal was from Bernardo Silva, who I thought had an exceptional game for Man City. It was a lovely strike, his first goal as well. Kyle Walker had got the assist. But I think the other 2 goals from Man City came from individual mistakes from us. The second goal obviously was from Riyad Mahrez. Bernardo Silva of course had got the assist for that. As the ball got played through to Riyad Mahrez, Victor Lindelof had slipped, and obviously Riyad Mahrez had rounded De Gea, and then obviously that was 2-0. And the third goal was an own goal from Andres Pereira and that. So 2 of them was individual mistakes and that. And City had chances after that, so we actually could have been around 4 or 5-0 down at half time. Bernardo Silva also had another chance, so he could have actually got his name on the score sheet. David De Gea had to make quite a few saves. I think also to Raheem Sterling had missed a sitter, but we created nothing in the game. I think prior to the goal we didn't create anything. But yeah, it was 3-0 at half time and that. Obviously the second half comes, we brought some substitutions on. Obviously Matic came on for Lingard. Martial came on for Mason Greenwood, and Angel Gomez of course came on for Daniel James, and that Rashford of course got us a consolation. Obviously Mason Greenwood had got the assist in that, so it was good to see Rashford get his name on the score sheet. I think that's now Rashford's 17th goal this season for Manchester United, and I think now he's on nearly 200 appearances for the club in all competitions. But I think the only players that played well tonight was Brandon Williams. I think he did very, very well at left back. I think Fred didn't do too bad, and I thought maybe Rashford did okay, but prior to that it was a very very bad performance. Probably it's probably one of the worst performances so far this season. That, but City we're totally dominant, definitely in that, and but yeah, I've got to say I am very very disappointed. And we need to get Ole Gunnar Solskjaer out of this football club as soon as possible. And I know, that Solskjaer's a club legend and that, and like obviously, Michael Carrick, he's one of the coaching staff. He's also a club legend, but it's time for them all to go now. And like I've said on recent videos, we need to see a variety of changes at the football club. We've got to get rid of Solskjaer. We've also got to get rid of our current board. We've also got to recommend a new chairman in, because I've also got to take into account that Ed Woodward is a liability. I think we need to also, get the Glazers out. I think we need a new team basically, because there's still a lot of problematic players at Manchester United that do need to be moved on. But we did actually, get rid of a lot of the Deadwood last summer, and that I think we got rid of around 7 outfield players last summer. But like I said, Solskjaer's managerial tenure is not going to work out at Manchester United. I can definitely assure that. I think the club do now need to sack him, but I'm still very sceptical, that we will sack him at this present time. I still feel as though that, we are determined, to give him this January transfer window to see who we can recommend into the football club. And I think, we are determined to give him the summer transfer window in that, to see who we can recommend in to the football club. But I'm very sceptical, that he will see out his 3-year contract with the football club, definitely. But Solskjaer is definitely now under intense pressure at the football club, definitely. And I think, Solskjaer is aware of that. But like I said, it was a great player for Manchester United for 11 years and that. And like I said, we'll never forget, what he has done for the football club. We all adore Solskjaer and that. But we just feel as though that, he isn't good enough as a manager. Like I've said on my recent video, so I think as a manager, he's totally a comparison to how he was as a player in that. Because he hasn't got that managerial experience. He isn't... He's not a top level manager, Miss Solskjaer, so I think the club needs to orchestrate on recommending a top level manager in and that. Solskjaer, of course, has been at the club now for 13 months, so he's been here over a year now. I think he's been a permanent manager for around, is it 10 months now? Solskjaer's been permanent manager, or nearly 10 months in that. Obviously, analysing the vast majority of that 10 months, he has enjoyed really a difficult time and that. And, we have been so inconsistent. This result, some people say it wasn't a surprise. Some people say it actually was a surprise, reflecting on how good we've been against elite opposition this season, because to be fair, we've done really, really well against elite opposition this season. And that, like I said, we beat City in the league, we drew with Liverpool, we're the only team this season to take many points from Liverpool. We beat Chelsea at the beginning of the season 4-0, we beat Leicester in that. We even beat Tottenham, but what we've done against elite opposition, we haven't really replicated that against lower opposition. But we came up against an elite opposition tonight, and we did nothing. There was no heart, there was no desire, there was no passion. We didn't play with any intensity whatsoever, and it was just an absolutely atrocious performance in that. And my element of concerns about Solskjaer is, like I've said, he's tactically naive. He's been tactically naive for the vast majority of the season. He doesn't really have a plan B in that. And, I just think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is clueless. And obviously, where we are all aware that obviously, we're going to have to pay something in compensation to obviously, get rid of him. I can't really estimate how much Man United would have to pay to get rid of him and that, but I don't think we'd have to pay as much, as we did do to get rid of Jose Mourinho and all that. Yeah, but from a City perspective, they'll be really, really delighted. It's half time, in the semi-final and that. It's going to be really difficult for us, to get anything at the Etihad. We've basically, got to score 3 goals at the Etihad Stadium. Obviously, to make the tie level. I think we've got to probably, score 4 goals, is it, to progress to the final and that. But obviously, I'm very sceptical that that's going to happen. And take into account City have got really a good home record in that. But obviously we are all aware that City are strides ahead of us, Liverpool are strides ahead of us, and like I've said on my recent videos, it's going to take us, I think, several years, for us to emulate, to City and Liverpool's level. But like I've said, for us to be back to how we want to play, and if we want to be back to being a competitive elite level football club, and if we do, want to be up there challenging for major honours, we've got to recruit the right calibre players into Manchester United this year. But I think it's going to be hard for us to attract players to the elite level, due to our inconsistency. And plus, obviously, with no Champions League football, that we can offer in that. But our board are determined to back him. I think Solskjaer's going to get unlimited funds. I think, we're probably going to spend a substantial amount on recruiting new players in this year. I think at an estimated guess we're going to consider spending from 250 to 300 million pounds, maybe even more, on recruiting new players to the football club. But definitely this year we've got to address the deficiencies in the squad. Like I said to you, I've got element of concerns about that midfield, because obviously with the injuries of Paul Pogba and McTominay, we do look very exposed in that midfield, and that we need 2 midfielders. We also need a couple of attackers. We need someone to come in that can score his goals, someone, of course, who can create chances in that. I think we also need a right winner. And there's possibly other areas in the squad as well that do need to be addressed in that. But like I said, I can't see us, sacking Solskjaer yet. I think they're going to wait to see, if we get the top 4 this season, and they're going to wait to see, if we can get any silverware on the board. And then they will make a decision of what's going on with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and that, But from my own perception, I do think enough is enough in that. But, what I can't understand is, when we first recommended Solskjaer in after the sacking of Jose Mourinho in December of 2018, we did really, really well. Don't forget at the first Solskjaer came in as the interim manager, and he did really, really well. The results were good, the performances were good, and he exceeded expectations in that. Solskjaer won his first 8 games. Obviously won 10 games out of 13 in the Premier League. We won 14 games out of 19 in all competitions and that. And obviously, that was enough to give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer the job and that. But since he's got the job permanently, with everything has just seemed to have all gone wrong. But I think actually one of the mistakes the club did make was giving Ole Gunnar Solskjaer the job and all that. But he's obviously on a 3-year contract with around £7.5 million a year and that. Solskjaer came out, he said quite a few things regarding Pep Guardiola prior to the game and that, obviously, he praised Pep Guardiola and the Man City team. He also made a comparison between Alex Ferguson and Pep Guardiola, and he actually said that, Sir Alex Ferguson was obviously, more of an influential manager of the game, than obviously, Pep Guardiola and that, this is what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has said. But like I said, it's looking like, Man City are going to be getting to the final of the Carabao Cup. Like I said, they're very competitive in the Carabao Cup, Man City, but City, themselves will feel as though that, the Carabao Cup is also a priority for them, because that could be any chances they've got of winning any silverware this season. Obviously, City, it's looking likely they're not going to win the league. Obviously, Liverpool, are too far in front. Liverpool are 14 points in front of them. And I actually do believe that Pep Guardiola has actually given up on City's title ambitions. So I think now City are going for runners-up in the Premier League. Like I said, they haven't really got a pedigree in the Champions League. And I don't think, they will win the FA Cup. So obviously, they are taking the Carabao Cup seriously. Don't forget, City have won it in the past 2 seasons. So if they win it this season, it will be their 3rd Carabao Cup on the trot. I think they've won it 4 times out of the past 6 seasons of Man City in that. But like I said, City are still regarded as the best team in England. you know, even though they haven't performed to the standards as we should expect from them this season, that in the league and that, you know, but you know, they're still a very, very good team, a lot of good players. Pep Guardiola, of course, has invested a lot of money into that Man City team. You know, I think Pep Guardiola spent around £1 billion in his managerial career, all in all. But like I said, the vast majority of that £1 billion has been spent on that Manchester City team, you know, and all that. And like I said, he's a very, very good manager. His philosophy's good. Don't forget, you know, Guardiola did work with Marcelo Bielsa, the Leeds manager, when he was younger. So you can say Pep Guardiola is following Marcelo Bielsa's philosophy and all of that. Pep Guardiola, of course, has in the Premier League has won 101 games in the Premier League out of 135 games he's managed in the Premier League. So that is actually now a record. I think actually at one point we were actually in for Pep Guardiola and that. But yeah. Gotta say, you know, I am very, very disappointed. And, you know, don't forget City last season, you know, won the domestic treble. The season before, you know, they did finish on 100 points, so they are still very, very competitive in that, you know, and all of that, definitely. But like I said, I think, you know, Man United do need to recommend Mauricio Pochettino in. Obviously, you know, you've got a lot of our fans demanding Mauricio Pochettino in now, but like I said, you know, we've been long admirers of Mauricio Pochettino anyway. You know, don't forget, you know, we was in for him after the sacking of Jose Mourinho on that. You know, we inquired about his availability. Obviously, you know, we didn't end up getting Pochettino because, like I said, our preference was Solskjaer over Pochettino because obviously we saw it that Solskjaer was a cheaper solution. Plus, Solskjaer, you know, did really, really well on an interim basis. So we obviously, you know, decided to keep him on and all that. But we've got to recommend Pochettino in now. Like I said, he's currently managerless at the moment. He got sacked from Tottenham the other month. Obviously as well, it would be beneficial because we wouldn't have to pay now anything in compensation to recommend him in. I think if Solskjaer is sacked, it's very imminent that Pochettino will be our next manager in that. And if Solskjaer is sacked and if Pochettino is to come in, he will be our fifth permanent manager since the Alex Ferguson era and that, you know, so we will see what happens. You know, we will see what happens and all of that. And but, you know, Pochettino hasn't only been linked with a managerial role at Man United. You know, he's obviously, you know, there were talks a while back about him going to Bayern Munich. There was also links with the Real Madrid job and all of that. But I think, you know, he should continue managing the Premier League because I think, you know, he suits the Premier League, you know, really, really well, does, you know, Mauricio Pochettino. And I think Mauricio Pochettino, to be honest with you, you know, would be the right man for Man United because I think he's a better manager than Solskjaer and he's totally a comparison to Solskjaer. He's obviously now got managerial experience as Pochettino, you know, and you know he enjoyed a good 5.5 years with Tottenham. I know he hasn't won out in terms of silverware. That's the only element of concern. But prior to that, I think he would do really, really well. He's also good at developing young players. He's Pochettino on that. So far, Pochettino has managed 3 clubs. Two of those clubs have been Premier League clubs. Obviously, you know, recently managed Tottenham. Obviously before that, he was at Southampton. He enjoyed a good short tenure with Southampton, and before him was at Southampton. He was at Espanyol. But with Tottenham, he did win over 100 games. I think he won around 159 games in 293 games in all competitions. You know, during his 5.5 years he had with Tottenham, he won around 113 of those games just in the Premier League and that. But with Tottenham, you know, he progressed them to their first ever Champions League final last season. He obviously spent money at Tottenham as well. You know, Tottenham were obviously, you know, competing in and out of the top 4. But in the last couple of years of, Mauricio Pochettino's tenure, Tottenham, were actually, title contenders because Tottenham came close on quite a few occasions to winning it and that. So I think, we need to recommend Mauricio Pochettino indefinitely. I know a while back, there was a lot of talks about Massimiliano Allegri, but I'm very sceptical, that he will obviously, come in. But like I've said, I think the only reason we haven't sacked Solskjaer is because obviously, he's a club legend. I think disregarding him being a club legend, I think, Man United would have sacked him by now. But as you all know, managers are getting sacked left, right, and centre. Obviously, like I said, Sanchez Flores was sacked from Watford. Pellegrini was sacked from West Ham not too long ago. Pochettino was sacked by Tottenham. Who else? Emery was sacked by Arsenal. Marco Silva was sacked by Everton. Ancelotti was sacked by Napoli and that. So managers have been getting sacked left, right, and centre because obviously, the boards are a lot more ruthless now than what they was back in the old generation. That, but this with the stature of our football club and that, we can't accept this, because we're not in the commanding position, that we currently should be in, and that, like I've said on my recent videos, reflecting on the amount of money that's been spent into the football club, also reflecting on the size and the potential of this club and that, because, we are one of the biggest clubs in the world, we are the most successful team in England, historically, reflect on the amount of trophies and titles and that we've won, and, we've also not only spent, a lot of money on players, we've also got players on big contracts at the football club and all of that, and, we need to see improvements, definitely, and wait on a minute. Sorry about that, but like I said, we need to see improvements and all of that, and yeah, and that's really my match reaction for the game, and that's really everything to update with. There'll be more videos coming up tomorrow. Probably going to give you an update on some more transfers and that, because obviously now we are way now into the January transfer window, and it's very, very imperative that Man United do make signings in this January transfer window and that, but it isn't assured that we are going to make many signings in this January transfer window. We've definitely not got to do that and that, but like I said, Solskjaer needs to be sacked by Man United. We've got to get rid of him. He will be the fourth manager to be sacked if he is sacked, because obviously, 3 managers have already been sacked since the Ferguson era. Moyes left after 10 months, Van Gaal left after like a year, and Mourinho, of course, got sacked after 2.5 years at the club and that. And, we're not really known for sacking a football club, but you know, when it gets as bad as this, you know, we have no alternative basically, you know, because you know we're worse under the Solskjaer era than what we was under Mourinho, what we was under Van Gaal, and of course what we was under David Moyes. And I think his win ratio is worse than actually David Moyes is. So, like I said, a massive rebuild is needed at the football club and all of that. Yeah. Like I said, I will be back on tomorrow with some more videos. It may be in the afternoon now. Drop your comments, likes, below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.